My friends, I would like to stress to you that what you think is one of the most important things. What do I mean? You see, my friends, what we think in our heart, it directly influences what we do and what we say. You see, so if I allow myself to be filled with the thoughts of stealing, then when the temptation comes my way, or when it comes my way, then because I've filled myself with this, it becomes way easier to steal. You see, sometimes I may get away with it and say, well, and that's what usually people do. They don't steal, and they say, well, I can still keep thinking these thoughts and filling myself up with this, and I won't steal. But then that's a failure. It's a one-way ticket to a known failure. You see, you're going to fail eventually because you're taking yourself to allow yourself to be tempted so greatly by filling yourself with those thoughts. You see, so you ask yourself, what is filling me? Where do I get my thoughts? You see, are they coming from Nietzsche's philosophy? Are they coming from something that Plato said, or Aristotle, or one of the Stoics, Epictetus? You see, now maybe that's not your taste. Maybe it's Isaac Newton or Stephen Hawking or Francis Fukuyama, whoever. You see, one of the intellectuals of the day or the intellectuals of the past, Darwin, his ancestors, who? Freud, B.F. Skinner. Which ones? I mean, there's a plethora, Or is it the media outlets? You see, are we hearing Chevy like a rock? Are we hearing rock and roll? Are we hearing and seeing rock star? You see, the drink. Why am I saying this? Because, my friends, there's only one rock, and that's Jesus Christ. You see, but they're telling you from all these sources that there are other rocks. See, I passed the rock. You hear the basketball player pass the rock. Rock means the basketball. You see, so where did this lingo come from? You see, another place they say I'm selling rocks on the streets, and they're selling drugs. You see, where is all this lingo coming from? You see, so they've done this to completely remove what the true rock is, who the true rock is, which is Jesus Christ. This is all from the media. You see, then they color it with all manner of deceptions on there. See, so, or is it, which one? Is it like Gatorade asks you, is it in you? Then they show a picture of a lightning bolt and some athletic looking people being filled up with some water that is blue or red. See, is that in you? What are they talking about? They're talking about life. But which life are they talking about? They're talking about life of the world. You see, these commercials and all these things are are engineered to the dot and comma, my friends. What are they engineered? To fill you with thoughts that take you away from Jesus Christ. And these are just the commercials. You see, they say impossible is nothing. Then they show a picture of one of the famous basketball players carrying all the animals in Noah's Ark. What are they telling you? They're telling you that you are God. You can do everything. You see, they show a woman taking a bite of an apple. She takes a bite of an apple. She's scantily clad. You see, and then they ask you, are you taking a bite of life? You see, so what's going on here? They show you Burger King, and there's some nakedness involved with that, a naked woman or man or whatever, because they know that if you don't, most likely you'll be able to resist the temptation for food by itself. So they'll sell you sex, and then you will not only receive the sex, but when you open the door for sex, you will open the door for everything, for the food too. See, what they do is, it's symbolically like a woman, distressed in the middle of the street. Then you stop thinking you're doing good, and then when you stop to help, then all the bandits come and take what you have. You see, that's what they do. See, they want to fill you with all these ideas and suggestions. They're Buffy the Vampire Slayer, charmed. What are you charmed? Are you charmed with what? Who's charming you? You see, all these other kind of things. What's going on? Mutant, some mutant show mutants everywhere. What is this stuff? The problem is, people think this stuff is artificial. My friends, all this stuff is real. You see? And that's the danger. Everybody thinks it's fun and games. It's not fun and games. This stuff is very dangerous. And the people that are putting it on there, they know. They want you to think a certain way because they don't want you to follow Jesus Christ. It's as simple as that. The attack is on Jesus Christ and His kingdom. You see? Through all these different things. That's why they use other fakes. They call them rock. And all kinds of... We can go on and on. I mean, there's all manner of, symbols that are used and all kinds of things. But it's unnecessary. You see, God took the children of Israel out of Egypt, which is symbolic of the world. Or come out of Babylon, or it's all the same. You come out of worldliness. You see? And then where does He take you? He doesn't take you to a nice, comfortable place where we're flying around in the sky. No. He takes you to a rough place where there's no food and no water and no shelter, physically. Why does God do that? See, Maslow would be very unhappy because you wouldn't be able to be self-enlightened in the place where God takes you. You see? Because you need food, physical food and water for that foundation. You see? To take you up to the place where your eyes can fully open. You see? Your enlightened eyes now. See? But God works in the opposite. He takes away all these things. He separates you to purify you, to make you holy. You see? And make you ready for use. You see? So you see, when they cried out for God, you see, look what it took. It took persecution from the world, from Egypt. And then they cried out because they became heavily abused. And then they left, they were joyous, and then they started asking for food and water immediately, complaining. They receive, when the job in the wilderness is to do what Jesus did and say, man shall not live by bread alone, but out of every word. When you're in the wilderness, your job is to be receiving word from God, spiritual food, spiritual water, spiritual meat. You see? Why does He take you into the wilderness? He takes you there to disarm all the temptations, to let you die to the flesh. See, it's not a choice. It's not something I feel like doing. You see, this is where the confusion comes in. People think that you've got to feel, I've got to feel good. And no, actually, when you're dying to the flesh, it feels bad. That's why when you do wrong, you feel miserable. You feel horrible. Feel grotty. You see? Because you realize, hey man, I shouldn't be doing this. It's wrong. See? So that's why God takes you out there, is to make you pure. Is to teach you to seek spiritual food, spiritual water, and build a spiritual house in the kingdom of God. See? And be filled by the thoughts of God, so that you can live that and manifest all those things to the perishing world in the flesh. But people don't want that. They want to play in the gray area. So they want a bit of both. See? And that's the tough part. Because it's like the vampire movie, where you see the vampires, they have a party in a club somewhere, and they invite all these people, and they tell, oh, it's free alcohol, free entrance, come in, we're having a good time. And all this mass of people come in there, and then there's that one person who's trying to save them and tell them, don't go in, you see. And then at the midst of their intoxication and revelry, the vampires descend on them and make meat of them. See? But you see, the vampire and his opposition, they know each other because one is hot and one is cold. This is the same thing with the kingdom of God and the kingdoms of enemy. You see? They know each other, but it's the mass of people in the middle that are lost because they are buying all manner of deceptions. See, my friends? So don't be like one of those, and start allowing yourself to be filled with the right thoughts so that you can enter into the right place.